Yo, what is going on, boys? Welcome back. It is MMA Jack, and today we are breaking down the UFC 318 main card. Last week we did pretty well. We went 4-1 on the main card, so can't complain there. We got a pretty decent card here. I wouldn't call it amazing, but it's definitely not a bad pay-per-view in my opinion. If you guys enjoy this content, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Free to you. And we're doing a giveaway at 250 subscribers, so stay tuned for that. Let's get right into the fights. Kicking off the main card, we got Michael Johnson taking on Daniel Zellhuber. I think this is kind of bullshit placement. I think it should have been Kyler Phillips, Vinicius Oliveira. In this spot here, I think that's a way more entertaining fight. This fight doesn't really make sense to me. Daniel's, I think, 15 years younger. He's obviously going to win this fight. It could produce a good finish. If you guys remember at UFC Noche in the Sphere, Zellhuber put on an absolute war with Esteban Ribovics. I think it was Fight of the Year, if I could be mistaken. It was definitely a contender for Fight of the Year, but great fight. Regarding this one, this is Unk versus Prospect. Michael Johnson's almost 40. He's still got hands, though. Like, Unk has still got it, but I don't think he's going to win this one. Daniel is, I think he has like an 8-inch reach advantage. He's a lot taller. He has very good takedown defense. Not even that Michael Johnson would shoot a takedown on Daniel. He'll probably want to keep this fight standing, but I don't really see Michael Johnson getting in on those shots, maybe in his prime, but again, he's almost 40 years old, so it's a lot harder for him to get in that pocket and actually hurt Daniel. Plus, Daniel's got an iron chin. You guys remember that fight with Esteban? He took some serious shots and survived all the way to the decision, so pretty clear cut here. We're going to go Daniel Zellhuber, and honestly, I can see a finish happening here, so we'll go by finish. So until I see something like really impressive out of these Bellator guys, I have to pick against them, because every time I hear Patricio Pitbull, best in the world, fucking Patchy Mix, he's going to be the future bantamweight champ of the UFC, they don't really ever deliver. And I'll be fair, Patricio Pitbull is probably one of the better prospects to come over. Actually, he definitely is, and he is a lot older, so I think the age definitely does stunt him in that regard. But man, I can't pick against the UFC guys. Dan Ige, although he hasn't won all of his last recent fights, he just knocked out Sean Woodson, which was pretty impressive considering the size difference. But he had a close fight with Lerone Murphy, who's undefeated, and he had a close fight with Diego Lopez on super short notice. So, judging off Patricio's last performance, he just got absolutely pieced up by Yair, who's not that good, had no answers at all for it. And in his last 4 fights, he's 1-3. Yeah, he's only beaten one guy, Jeremy Kennedy, in Bellator. Maybe if Patricio was younger, I would pick him here, but he's almost 40 years old again. And after seeing his last performance, I got to go with Dan Ige here. The one scare is Patricio could use his grappling against Ige. Ige is notoriously known to not have very good takedown defense. If you look at the Bryce Mitchell fight, he was controlled the whole time. Mavzar, even Josh Emmett, he got a couple good takedowns on him and was able to control him. So I guess I wouldn't be super surprised if Pitbull wins, but I think there's pretty good value here having Dan Ige at -175 because he's got dynamite in his hands on the feet, and I think he could do enough to survive Patricio at this older age. So we're going to go with Dan Ige here by decision. Next up, I think this is another pretty clear-cut fight, in my opinion. I think Kevin Holland smokes D-Rod. Another case, younger guy versus an older guy. D-Rod is on a 2-fight win streak, and he has been looking decently impressive. That fight against Ponzinibbio, he put him out. That was clean. But besides his boxing, D-Rod doesn't have much to show for. Not much in the grappling, not much in the kicking game. And Kevin Holland, honestly, Kevin Holland's locked in, bro. We got a new Kevin Holland mythical fighter. He's locked in right now. He's been looking really good recently. Just came off of defeating Luque. He subbed him. And I think I'm going to go with Kevin Holland by submission here, because D-Rod notoriously doesn't have very good submission defense. I mean, he got submitted by fucking Neil Magny. Come on. That was like 3 years ago, too. And Kevin Holland's pretty good at jiu-jitsu. I could see a situation here where he kind of drops D-Rod with maybe like a straight or like a hook, and then he follows up on the ground, maybe snags up like a Darce or Anaconda choke, something of that nature. I just don't really see how D-Rod can win this, and especially, again, the age. Kevin Holland's 33, D-Rod's almost 40. So I would be very shocked if Kevin Holland loses this fight. So we're going to go with Kevin Holland by submission. Now, this is a tough one to predict, and I'm really excited for this matchup. I think it's going to be pretty entertaining because both of these guys can put on a show. But Costa is 1-4 in his last 5 fights, and I do think he has the skills to beat Roman Kopylov. Roman Kopylov is a really good kickboxer, and he has pretty good takedown defense, but besides that, he's pretty shallow in every other aspect. Costa does have grappling, but he just doesn't use it. That's the problem. So I don't know what version of Costa we're going to get. If he comes out here with a really smart game plan and is able to take down Roman and neutralize that striking, I would pick Costa to win this fight. But judging off his last 4 performances, he cares more about being entertaining, which as a fan I appreciate, but I'm kind of worried for his career because he's 1-4 in his last. I mean, he has been facing like pretty good competition, but if he can get Kopylov down to the ground, there is submission potential here. Anthony Hernandez was able to choke him out. And I know Anthony Hernandez is very good, but I don't know. I got a feeling that Costa can pull this off. I see everyone picking Kopylov. Oh, fuck. But I'm like, then again, he staying on the feet, Kopylov is a lot faster and more accurate. So I could see him just piecing Costa up over 3 rounds. I don't see him finishing him. But I kind of want to pick Costa for the fluke, bro. I don't know. I think it depends. If I'm giving you guys betting advice on this fight, I think it depends on how Costa comes out. If he comes out and is looking for takedowns and trying to fight smart, hit that Costa money line. But if he's doing his typical stand and bang, which obviously I'm excited for, it's going to be a very entertaining fight. But don't bet on Costa. That's about as much advice I can give for this fight. But I'm excited for it because regardless, I know it's going to be exciting. So let's move on to the main event. And speaking of entertaining, wow, am I excited for this fight. Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway 3. I do wish it was Dustin versus Justin 3 because they're 1-1, but I think this is a little different because their first fight was 13 years ago, so I don't even count that. And honestly, I'm not going to say I don't count their second fight, but Max didn't really have time to properly bulk up. It was on short notice, so he was kind of just like skinny fat Max. And we saw what Max looked like when he properly bulked to 155 when he fought Gaethje at UFC 300. He looked amazing. So I think this is a new evolved Max. I am a little bit worried because he did get knocked out in his last fight by Ilia Topuria. But I think his chin's going to recover. I mean, he has one of the best chins in UFC history, and now he doesn't have to cut all the way down to featherweight, which is super draining for his body. So I'm not too worried about the chin here. His mental might be a little messed up because, like, he probably thought he was invincible, and I don't blame him because he literally has taken so much damage and never even been, like, dropped or knocked out. But I don't think Dustin has that power that Ilia has, especially at this point in his career. And I'm leaning Max here. He's got the age. If he fights how he fought Gaethje at UFC 300, I think he will beat Dustin Poirier. Dustin has a lot going into this fight. He has the whole city watching him, and I know that he's done pretty well under pressure before, but that could be something scary. You have this whole card built around you in your hometown. You've never fought there. All the pressure's on him. No pressure is really on Max here. And I see Max being just a little bit faster in these exchanges, a little bit cleaner. He's got the more technical kicks. Dustin probably still does have the power advantage, but I don't know. Max's power is kind of going up to a new level. I mean, he slept Gaethje, slept Korean Zombie. This is going to be a really good fight. I think I am going to pick Max, especially because I think that Ilia performance is aging really well. Even though he got knocked out, he won that first round against Ilia, and he was putting some serious pop on him. Like, Ilia's face was a little fucked up before he slept Holloway. Dustin also did very well in his last fight against Islam, so I'm not going to, play the double standard here. But something's kind of just telling me that Max is going to take this. And I had this feeling going into UFC 300 as well with Gaethje. A lot of people were like, no way, you're picking Max, that's crazy. But I really do think lightweight is his true weight class, and this is where he's his most evolved, especially because he's only 33. This is kind of his prime right now, and I feel like Dustin has already peaked, and he's slowly on the decline, especially after losing that last chance at the title. So I want both of them to win. I love both of them. These are two of my favorite fighters of all time. And I just hope everyone has fun, man. But thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. Again, we're doing a giveaway at 250 subscribers, so please subscribe if you enjoy the videos. I'll be down in the comments. Let me know what your guys' picks are, if you agree, disagree with me, and enjoy the fights. And we'll see you guys for the next fight card.